Hi. So it is. What time is it? 1:21 a.m. and I just got finished watching a horrible movie. If you follow me on Tumblr, I was just talking about it. But like, I I, I gotta get my apple juice out for this one because I need some comfort. Like, this movie was off the chain in the worst way. Like, it was off the chain. Like, okay, so like this movie is called Splice, and like, what the fuck? Who? When was this movie cursed? Like, this movie cursed me. Like, when the fuck was this movie made? When the fuck was Splice made? I'm so mad. I almost typed when the fuck was Splice made? When was Splice released? Yeah, when the fuck was Splice released? 2016. Fucking Christ. 2016 is a horrible year for this movie alone. Fuck this movie, okay? Fuck this movie. Like, this movie is so disappointing because it had the potential. It had potential. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, two scientists that wanted to have a scientific breakthrough and create a creature in like a lab. That has so much potential. Like, you can go anywhere you want with that. But they went the. There's gonna be trigger warnings for this like video because it's fucked. The movie's fucked up. Like it just like okay. So storyline goes basically white lady, white man. They're bioengineers, I think, or what the fuck ever. Like they're scientists. Like, and they create like just experiments and shit, and like I don't like they make monsters. Like they make monsters. Like that's all you can really say is they make monsters, and it's like okay, and that has potential to be good by itself. Like a a couple of scientists that make monsters and one goes wrong, that could have been so good, but like it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And what makes it so awful is that like okay, so like they were getting their shit shut down because like they were like we could be spending this money doing more than what we can be doing. So it's like okay, whatever. That creates a conflict, and it's like that could have been a good conflict. They could have upped their game and whatever. They did in a way. They made a daughter, I guess, and it was like okay, this could have been like a good little movie of like them going on adventures and it goes horribly wrong, but it did go horribly wrong. But like with the scientists first, like these people are batshit insane. These white people, I swear to fucking God, white people. Good fucking Lord. Who? Let me just say a prayer. Let me just say a fucking prayer. Because I'm going to go to hell today. Like, this movie. Like, okay, so like, horror, it's a horror movie, I know that. But like, it doesn't. It frames itself as a horror movie, but the vast majority of it is not a horror movie. It's like scientists doing scientist shit, and then like pseudo like trigger warning incest. It's like that's I mean that's horrible, but it's not horror if that makes sense. Like that's terrible, and you shouldn't have put that in a movie about like scientists. Like why would you put that in there? Why would you do that? And like they raised this bitch as their daughter, and like they both abused her in horrible ways. Like the one, this is a trigger warning for just like parental abuse. Like she cuts this. Would this be sexual abuse too? I'm gonna count it as that. So trigger warning for sexual abuse is that throughout this video, just a big trigger warning. Like, she cuts her dress off, like and she's just naked and vulnerable on a table, cause like she killed a cat. Which I mean, oh, and edible death. Sorry about that. Like it's like just, and then like she didn't have to do that. If she was gonna cut the stinger off, she could have just like that, which is still awful because like that's a part of her. But like it was just unnecessarily violent. Like, and then you just the trigger warning shit aside, the movie is just viscerally unsettling. Like horror movies are supposed to be unsettling. Like I love horror movies. Horror is my favorite genre. Like but you didn't have to go make it disgusting. Let me like this sounds like a nitpicky thing, but like the sounds and shit, it just were not the sound. I didn't like it. It was just hellish, hell on earth with that noise. Oh God, it was awful. Lord Jesus, it sounded like if like you know that video of like the pocket pussy and it's in somebody's muffler and you got like Vroom Vroom by Charlie XCX playing. That's what the sound is like in that movie. It's like awful. It's like that pocket pussy just like it's like awful. Like it's awful. And like I guess before horror's my favorite genre. Like you have really good horror movies that you can make off of like mutations. Like there's The Hills Have Eyes. I don't really watch two because I'm not. But The Hills Have Eyes 1 was amazing. That's a a good horror movie right there where like you have mutations and shit like that. This movie was not good. This movie was just not good. I think so. Like, I'm gonna talk about this. It was like it made me. Why did okay? Like I know why she did it, but like this was like before it actually happened. Like Dren, I think her name was. Why did she give the man fuck me eyes? Why did she have to do that? Like, why did she have to go that far with it? Like, I'm not. See, I don't want to give this thing autonomy because, like, it's an experiment in a lab, and I don't know the timeline for this movie. You know what I mean? I don't know how her age progressed. And, like, I don't feel right putting the blame on her for that. Because, like, he went back. He went back, and he's, like, a full-grown man. So, like, I don't feel right putting the blame on her for that. Like, yeah, she was serving nothing but forehead, but that was not her fault. Like, she looked like a fucked up dinosaur egg with legs, but like, I'm not blaming her for that. Like, I'm blaming the scientist dude. I don't know these characters' names, by the way. I was not emotionally vested. These characters all sucked. Like, it's one thing. Like, it's horror movies. You don't have to be emotionally vested with the characters, but it helps. But like these characters none of them were likable. None of them were likable. Like he wanted to kill this bitch from day one, try to drown her. Like, and then she turned into her mother. And at the end of the movie, please don't watch this movie. Like, trigger warnings aside, the movie is just awful. It's just terrible. Who greenlit it? It's awful. Like, at the end of the movie, trigger warning, there's like a graphic, very graphic, a rape scene, and like, who greenlit this movie? Like, who did it? We need to have a talk. Like, we need to have a talk, because we need to have a talk. Like, this shit's not good. Somebody just sent me an ass. Seeing your commentary on Splice now makes me want to watch it. I've already got Netflix open. Please don't do that. Like, I mean, it's a triggering movie. Like, not even like, jokes aside, it's like not triggering. It's a triggering movie and it's not a good movie. Like, it's just not well put together. There's no timeline. Like, there's no, it's not well put together. Aside from triggers aside, it's just not a put together movie. It's like not well put together at all. Like, you pretty much have like there was a conflict, but like, you know how like the conflict, like you have to be like on it, like in order for me to like remember what a conflict is, like you got to be like referenced back to it. There's got to be an active going on. There was not that in this movie. Like, I forgot they even had a quota to make I forgot they even had to find something until like the end of the movie. I was like, oh, we gotta find that gene. I was like, oh shit, you still working on that? Like that, it was forgettable. And then like you had the dude like doing a callback, going up to, like he drove up to the farm where they was heaping her, and I was like, okay, so he actually is like on this shit, okay, but like my thing was did they like remake? Did they have like a whole new conflict? Because like that other conflict never got resolved. Was the new conflict like Dren growing up? Like because they were still getting paid. So like, I figured that other conflict was resolved and done. But like, it just was not put together. It just was not put together movie. Um, Somebody said they want me to watch Birdemic. I will try to watch that probably next week or something. I don't know. But like, this movie is fucking awful. This movie is fucking awful. Don't watch this fucking movie. Like, don't do it. Like, it's trigger warnings aside, like I said before, it's just not a good movie. Like, the premise is so easy to make and not fuck up, but they fucked it up by like making the. Did they ever even explain what the fuck Dren was? Like, did they ever like? Because she looked like a tadpole. Like she looked like that bitch from Land Before Time, Littlefoot. Girl, that was Littlefoot. Anyways, that's it. Like, don't watch this movie. Like, don't watch this fucking movie. Don't watch it. Like, don't watch it. Don't. I'm pleading with y'all. Don't watch this movie because I know some of y'all gonna be in my DMs like, I watched it. Oh fuck. And I told y'all not to do it. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Christ.